Come on with this mess, child.
Cool. When you hear Black fatigue, what does it mean to you?
I mean, for me, it's the initial definition. It's Black people being sick and tired of always being classed in a box, whether it be in America or all across the world as a result of colonization and, you know, white inferiority. But typical, as usual, white people have a habit of stealing our words. So just like woke, and just like thug, and just like ghetto, and just like all of these other words, they just have a habit of not being able to find words themselves. So they take words that we use to describe and explain our experiences, and then they try to steal it to be their own definitions of something that is not the original definition of the word. So I think that Black people should not allow them to again take the word just like they did woke. It has a definition. Like, for example, I have Karen fatigue, right? I do. Genuinely, I cannot stand seeing them crash out in Walmarts and Targets all across America. But somehow, we're not, I mean, like, we all have fatigue with the other race, but find your own word. You see how I just made that up? I didn't have to steal something that's within the white community and make it something it's not. So yeah, it's still the original definition for me.
Okay. All right, go ahead, Miss Pearl.
Thanks for having me, guys. So when I think of Black fatigue, I think that people are kind of sick of Black people's behavior and excuses for the behavior. And I would say some of the behavior this is not all Black people, as I always have to say with these kind of conversations, but I would say these are some of the things that people are fatigued of. Black people committing more crime, a lack of basic decorum, a lack of good faith, at times a lack of work ethic, basic manners, sexual behavior in public, dressing overly provocative, taking advantage of white people's good nature, gaslighting, attitude. I could give stories where personally, this has happened to me at work, in sports, in cities, and in friend groups. Somebody said microaggressions. I don't really know what that means, but I think that's kind of just an excuse for poor behavior. So that's what I would say it is.
Okay. Go ahead, Ella. Black fatigue, what does it mean to you?
The original definition. I think that what we're witnessing is the fatigue of just ignorant behavior that all races carry. You know what I'm saying? So I think to just coin it as Black fatigue, like what do we call what white people do? What's the word for that? Would it just be called, hey, we're just tired of ignorance, we're just tired of, or is it white fatigue? Like, to me, Black fatigue is what it really means. But it's just funny to hear white people talk about the side effects of what their people have done to people, and then talk about, hey, I don't know what's wrong with them. Like, our people have been disrespected when we behaved at our best. When you look into history, when people get, you know what happened to us, all the violent atrocities, the redlining, those people wasn't flagging their pants. Those people wasn't rapping gangster lyrics. Those people were going to church. They was conservative. Their pants was buckled up. They was going to church and all that. And they was blowing them shits up. So when I hear white people, the most violent, the most aggressive, the most pillaging people to ever walk the face of this planet, actually call out people who are just showing the side effects of years of mental degradation, social degradation.
Oh, so it's a side effect is what he's saying. So the ratchet behavior is a side effect, y'all. Isn't that what he just said? That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing. So if you see the ratchet behavior and the things that are going on, it's a side effect from white supremacy, discrimination, slavery. Y'all already know what the list is, right? Redlining, all that stuff. So you're trying to tell me that when my grandmothers were alive, during probably my great grandmother, definitely during Jim Crow, right? So this is amazing. So you're telling me that they didn't act like that. My aunts and uncles didn't act like that. But now today, everybody gets to act like a fucking fool. And then we want to sit up here and try to say that it's because of those things. Even though they weren't even doing it in the 70s, acting like a fool. Now, I know people will say, oh, we didn't have the internet then. Okay, so we didn't watch the news. I know my family watched the news every night. Walter Cronkite, I don't know who else. I just remember him. Barbara Walters, all those people watch the news faithfully every night. My mother talks about my mother born in April. And I think Martin Luther King must have got assassinated around her birthday, right? And she remembers it like it was yesterday. Probably like I remember 9/11 is how she remembers the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King. And I understand that there was riots and things that happened at the time, right? But did people start acting wild and then turned around and said, well, it's because of Black fatigue and what happened during slavery and stuff like that? I think it's an excuse. That sounds like an excuse to me. You can hate it all you want to, but child, we have more opportunity today to be successful than they had. And like I said, my grandfather left my great grandmother 3 houses and probably more. That's just what I know about, because as a child, it wasn't my business to know that type of shit, because there was a time when people's business stayed between them instead of telling the whole fucking world. But I guess that's okay too, right? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to Trent. Child, we are in the afternoon here on the East Coast. He said, you give me black and white fatigue. Shut up. Of course I do. Of course I do. But I'm just saying, that's what I'm hearing as an excuse. Because while the internet will amplify, the internet will amplify the antics and everything. If we don't do the antics, then it can't be emphasized. All right. But anything for money, clicks, likes, and views, in my opinion.
Economic chicanery.
Yeah,
and you talk. I know you're getting triggered. It's going to be a long night.
No, I'm not triggered. I thought we could go back and forth.
Nobody interrupt you. Get your seatbelt ready. It's going to be a long night.
Overreaction.
No one look at you. This see, like you can't even help it. You can't even help it. We ain't even get started yet. So you ain't never. Just get your popcorn ready, baby. But like I was saying, right? Because we got literature. We ain't gonna just talk from just our thoughts. I hope you got
Amira look like she about to go to sleep.
some literature on your side, Miss Pearl. Excuse me, Pearl. I hope you got some literature because I'm not gonna just speak from my thoughts, my opinions. I'm gonna quote from literature. So what I'm saying is, I'm tired of ignorance of all races. But to hear white people go out their way to co-sign this, when most of black people's issues, whether it be the drug issue, whether it be their issues with relationships, whether it be their issues with economics, whether it be the hijacking of their arts and the hijacking of putting negative images as far as music, we don't control media. We don't control the major networks. So for anything black people to do that,
we don't control media. We don't control major networks. All right, skinny boy, I see you. I'll slow it down. We don't control that, right? Okay, we don't. So why aren't we working on getting something together? Oh yeah, you know what we got? Zeus Network. We got the Zeus Network, child. Is that created out of white supremacy, discrimination, and all the rest of it? What about no shade, but Tyler Perry? Because 1 minute y'all love him, not y'all, you know what I'm saying. 1 minute y'all love him, 1 minute you hate him. 1 minute he can't stand black women, you don't like the portrayal. The next minute it's wonderful. He's wonderful. Which one is it? Oh, he allegedly going after that white man. Ain't nobody got nothing to say. Let some black man decide that he want to go to Thailand. Oh my God. And it's not just about black women with this. This is everybody, but I'm just pointing out some things. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Dallas says, do people still pray the lack of God is missing or something? I don't disagree with you, but everybody wants to be traumatized by that as well and say all these preachers and what they doing. And I'm not disagreeing that there are some issues, but please miss me with most of them are. Would I go to Jamal Bryant's church? Absolutely not. Would I go to the cousin pastor's church? Absolutely not. Would I go to Joel Osteen's church? Absolutely not. But my pastor, I believe in him. I believe in his word, and I believe the things that he says, and I like the way that he preaches to us. When I was a child with my grandmothers, we went to church every single Sunday. There was no ifs, ands, or buts. None. You say your grace before you eat. You say please and thank you, manners and shit like that. These motherfuckers, you will not have a child call me by my first name. There's people that allow that shit. It's called respect. You're not going to call me by my first name. I'm sorry. Do you pay bills? You will not call me by my first name. Other people like it. Y'all like it. We love it. You won't do it with me. Just like with rules in this house. When my grandkids come over, you already know you don't touch the walls. They don't get no pass just because they're kids. They don't get no pass just because they're my grandkids. You gonna follow the fucking rules. That's what the fucking problem is that don't nobody want to follow no fucking rules. And everybody think that they can just do whatever the fuck it is that they want. That's her damn body. That's the fucking problem, in my opinion. But y'all said Revolt TV. Wasn't that Diddy thing? I don't know what they do besides have interviews, so I don't know. Tubi is another one. I don't know that it's black owned, but if y'all say that it is, then it is. But everybody always typically complains that it's ghetto and horrible, blah, 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 blah. I don't know nothing about Tubi, so I'm going to just have to go with what y'all are saying. I'm just saying. Kofa said, I usually agree with ill, but not on this one. I'm tired of the same excuses. White people did all of that. We chose to continue it. Exactly. And again, right here, going into 2026, this is the excuse that we're going to continue to use. All right. Y'all use it. Y'all can use it and try to act like, and then you want the what is it? You want the stuff, I'm gonna just call it the stuff, and then turn around and say that it's all Donald Trump's fault and he's a racist and he's keeping us from this, he's keeping us from that. As long as he was given shit back in the day, everything was fine. Y'all was all good in the hood. Turned to Republican, and now all of a sudden everything is racism, which maybe it is, child. I don't know. But it's like, are we going to continue to just say that that's the reason why we act like fucking fools, while we show ourselves acting like fucking fools, not following any rules, and then embarrassing the ancestors? I said, I don't know if I said this to y'all, every pro-Black should be pissed the entire fuck off every time a woman says that being a wife is slavery, given how much people talk about how bad slavery was, and it was. I'm not saying that it's not. How horrible it was, everything that happened with it. But you allow these bitches to sit up here and equate being a wife to slavery, and y'all don't even gatekeep that shit where you can. And then you allow these fucking blogs to go and say what they want to, but then you think you're going to control somebody over here on fucking YouTube? Child, please, y'all can miss me with that bullshit, and he sound crazy.
We do negatively to be broadcasted to the world has to be funded, co-signed, and endorsed by a European. So to hear these same people talk about the things they've done to these people, and then they have the nerve to show the side effects of that, say, hey, I don't know what they're talking about, just shows you what we're dealing with. So Black fatigue is no such thing as Black fatigue. It's just the fatigue of just ignorance of American culture, and it's eroding Black people because we've been attached to most of these atrocities the most. So excuse us for the fact that we don't want to talk to you like we used to. We don't want to be as gracious as we used to, because when our parents was and our grandparents was going to church and saying, yes, master, yes, Paul, yeah, you would blow their heads off. There was a story.
So going to church was saying, yes, master, yes, master. In the churches that you was going to, not in the churches that still stands. The church that I went to or was taken to by my grandmother's stands to this day. And there ain't no mega church. It's a community church, even though it's now basically overrun by white people. Those same people and their children, they still come there. You be talking about community. Y'all ain't interested in no fucking community. You can't tell me you are. Ain't no way. Eugene, thank you, boo. He said our ancestors are rolling over in their graves. And the people here that always talking about the ancestors should be rolling over all these people that act like this and do these things. Because going to fucking Africa and twerking on the whatever it was, the ancestor land, whatever that was, that should have been blasted from here to the high hills. But have faith in these blogs that mainly are not even run by Black Americans, FBAs, as some people call them, but that's who y'all want to listen to. Go ahead, listen to him.
Of a man, and I'm gonna shut up. There's a story of a man. I forgot his name, but there was a story. I could tell you about what happened in my job today. But there was a story of a man. I think his name was Booker. I forgot his last name. This was in the 50s, not that long ago. So let's not act like history don't matter, because we celebrate 4th of July every year. We celebrate past the Civil War and 4th Squad 7 years ago, Ulysses Grant, all these old forefathers, we acknowledge them every year. So the history means a whole lot to this country. He worked at a restaurant.
As far as the history is concerned, Black history is concerned, we should be teaching each other. Do we do that, Bueller? Do we as parents teach our children about Black history instead of thinking that your school that you freely say is run by white people enough of the time? And then say that they don't teach enough of what they do teach about, and then they are downplaying slavery? So then do y'all pick up the gap? Do y'all fill in the blanks for the kids? I'm assuming with all of the things that we see on the news that I'm thinking that no, you don't. Because my mother did that. She definitely was saying, you're going to learn about real Black history because what they teaching you is not accurate. It's not enough. I was forced, and I say forced because I was very young, to sit and watch Roots when it came out in the 70s. And I know people will say that it's not an accurate depiction. It doesn't matter. These are the things that I was told and taught by my family. So when we're sitting over here talking about what other people aren't doing, if we know it so much, especially all these people that are taking these, we ain't doing what we need to do. We're not doing our part. And then your dumbass kids who know how to get on this computer, who know how to turn on this camera, who know how to get on TikTok and do all that, but can't even go cite a source, find a source other than fucking TikTok. But yeah, slavery's the problem, right? So we can't teach our children anything. We can't teach each other anything. Libraries do still exist. Shout out to the Dewey Decimal System. Libraries do still exist. You still can go carry your ass on over there, and you can actually get a whole ass real book and read. Crazy talk.
Said, hey, I try to do my best. I be nice. They call me the N-word. They talk to me crazy. I'm just trying to take care of my family. I'm trying to take care of my kids. At nighttime, I got my own restaurant, and I work it myself. So this man works for white people in the daytime, Mississippi, and at nighttime, he works at his own restaurant. So at that time, black people, we don't have, even now, but in the 50s, you think, who owns cameras? Who owns media networks? So we don't. So even the people who interviewed him was white. But guess what happened to that man? They killed him days later just because he had the nerve to tell white people asked him, well, how white people treat you, just for him to get killed by white people. So I don't want to hear no white person talk about black fatigue. Now, if you want to talk about the degradation of America, you want to talk about the lack of literacy in youth, you want to talk about just drugs in general, just immoral culture of Western culture, I'm all for that. But don't blame it on black people because we're only doing what was done to us.
All right, Pearl, you want to respond real quickly?
Yeah, I had a question. How does this work? Am I able, when they're talking, can we go back and forth like a conversation, or that's not allowed here? I'm okay with either. I just wasn't positive.
I mean, if you want to interject and if the person allows it, then that's fine. But if they say let me finish, then just allow them to finish. Then I'll just come back to you so you can respond.
Yeah, because you was doing every person. Like everybody went their turn. He went and rolled. We could see the panels. He went one by one. It was my turn.
Yeah. So
I'm sure she'll be excuse me. She'll be black fatiguing this up on her channel. Allegedly. I'm gonna assume she's gonna do the same thing.
Again, I would say even in that interaction, I was very polite to you, where you automatically assumed the worst. So that kind of reiterates what I was talking about. The next argument.
Sorry, you can't interrupt. Remember, we just went over that.
I'm gonna go through, so I'm gonna.
No, but what did I assume?
I'm gonna keep going. That's gonna be gaslighting.
He's upset and triggered over here, y'all. That's what I'm seeing. Maybe it's not. Maybe y'all don't see it, but that's what I'm seeing. Is this any different than tyranny and jazz?
Right there. So gaslight. Pretend you weren't doing what you did, which is totally fine. I'm a big girl. I can handle it. But
no, you can't.
Example of the black fatigue. Then you're saying you're blaming it on history. I just think that goes back to white people are kind of tired of hearing excuses. Yeah, and it just.
Of course you are, but why?
Shout out to Sandra Fire in the chat. She said, "Pearl, stay on the Chitlin circuit." Sandra and the rest of y'all. This is what I'm saying. You're what is it? What is the saying? You're inviting the fox in the hen house. Is that how you said it? Like we had all these sayings back in the day. You're inviting the fox into the hen house. And then when she takes it away and makes money off of it, she said she was a grifter. We heard her say that. And then gets y'all all riled up, all damn ready. The show is barely 5 minutes in. Okay, it says 31 minutes, but there was an opening and we watched that video. But they just started talking about this. You're already fired up. It's like, this is what she's here for. Child, whatever. Yeah, shout out to the Chitlin circuit. That is too funny.
I wouldn't be proud of it.
As an adult, you are responsible for your own behavior. So if you do something rude, or if you commit a crime, you are responsible. Nobody else is responsible for it.
Absolutely. But that's not a black crime. It's not a black issue.
White people commit more crime in this country than black people. So let's if we're gonna speak facts, let's really stop talk statistics and stop just saying out anything, because like Ella said, you're just
black men are
you're not really spewing out any facts.
Black men are
over 50%. No.
Black men are 20 times more violent than white men.
That's what I'm saying. You're showing. Hold on.
Fatty show part 2.
Hold on. She should have started interrupting people because we weren't interrupting nobody. But you want to interrupt, so now you're throwing off the flow of the flow. This is what they do in real life. Go off the flow of everything.
Hold on.
She throwing up racist talking points.
Hold on, let's just do one at a time. Okay, I got the timer. We're gonna do 3 minutes and 50-second timer. Go ahead, let Pearl finish. Getting back to Ella. Ella just remain on silence until she finishes. Go ahead, Pearl.
Everybody.
No, you're on mute. Let me take you off.
Felonies, 51% of arrests for murder in 2019 were black. Black women are 7% of the population, 39% of abortions. Felony conviction rate for black individuals is 61%. Black people are 13% of the population, but are incarcerated 38% of the time. 48% of black adults are obese. 54% of black women are obese. 1 in 4 black children born in 1990 had an imprisoned parent by age 14. Yeah, so if you want facts, there are some facts. Go ahead.
I would like to know, how do you quantify black men being more violent? I think that there's statistics, but how do you go and measure that? Like without just the numbers, how do we go through our daily lives and observing just reality that Black men, just by default, just by being Black, are more violent than all other males walking around? How do we quantify that?
I would say number one, the data reflects it, and also my real lived experience. I would say that is what I have seen in real life.
So when she says that type of stuff too, that's all the more reason why. Ooh, I hit myself too hard. Sorry, y'all. I can't take her seriously because like does Pearl know the whole world? In my own experience, that's her own experience. Who cares? She's sitting up here and so was she hanging out with felons, child? Don't forget the fact that she likes all that pleasure from your chocolates. Shout out to the chocolates. Yeah, and that's the other thing, B. Wyatt. It's never, okay, where did you get it from? Where's the data at? What's the source? Oh yeah, data don't matter, child. Statistics don't matter, and the sources don't matter. That's what they said over on Fatty's show, child. When she was talking to that dude, I forget his name.
I haven't seen a Black man be violent in my years of experience. So what are we talking about?
Okay,
it's 43 million Black Americans that live here. So your statistics are flawed, like all of the rest of YT statistics.
How are they flawed?
Because statistically, Black men are not more violent than white men.
They're 20.
So y'all getting defended now, y'all. Shout out to the sassy straights, your chocolates. You getting defended, child. Look at that. We can come together. Look at this. Look at this. You got the star defending y'all. You go, girl.
It's just not a stated fact.
They're 20.
No. That's just not a stated fact.
Where are your facts?
They literally colonized an entire civilization. White men are inherently violent, right? That's why they
be saying white men? Oh, white men. Okay.
That's why we have all of this school stuff going on. We're not doing that.
Do you feel safer in a white neighborhood or a Black neighborhood?
I feel more safer in a Black neighborhood.
Well,
that's why I'm living on property.
God help you.
Yeah, I do. I don't feel safe around white people. Like I'm scared of you right now. I'm afraid because it's because of the white fatigue. Because, and to answer JR's question, I believe that Black fatigue is the original answer. And I believe that they try to flip it, just like they try to crowbar their way into using the N-word by trying to tell people that that's okay because they now want to say it. No, it's for us and it's by us. Y'all can't say that either. And y'all can't try to hijack a term that the professor wrote a book about it. You know what I'm saying? So it just goes to show the colonizer mindset that you guys have in your brain. It's literally disgusting. And it's sickening, right? It's like almost like a mental illness to me because there's no way the child just really came in and hijacked this term in an effort to humiliate or talk down on Black people. When you pull up those statistics, do you know that Black people patent over 50,000 inventions in this country? Do you know that we built institutions? We actually built this country from scratch.
No,
so when you're bringing up statistics,
what institutions did you
know?
Listen, we know. We know. The rest of them might not know, but we know.
Slaves built the pyramids. Slaves built the Parthenon. Slaves built America. Slaves, this is your song. Thank you. Slaves. Thank you. Slaves. Thank you. Slaves. Slaves, this is your song. Thank you.
And we're done. We're done. We're finished.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up!
We do not care.